The Thunder's homestand continues with the Phoenix Suns coming into town. I've got Dillon Jones here, the rookie who's had a lot of different experiences so far this season, and you're getting a really nice stretch here at home. The team's been on the road. You've been back and forth with the OKC Blue. What's this like to just be in one place here for a little bit of time and kind of get your feet on the ground?
It feels good, just being back in the building. Being at the Blue, the building is it's like replicated, same thing we do over here. So it's been good, and obviously it's a good stretch to be home for playing a lot of really good teams, and excited to see where the team at as we get healthy and stuff.
Yeah, leading into this game, two really dominant performances by the team against Sacramento and then Milwaukee. What did you think were maybe some of the keys to those victories, just in terms of the approach and how you handled the 48 minutes as a team?
I think it's all about, like you said, the approach, how we took it, focusing on ourselves and worrying about what we got to do to get better as a team. And it starts from obviously up top as our leader, and when you see Shea approach it as he does, and he play the game how he plays, it's very easy for everybody else to kind of follow in line. So I think he set the tone on that, and everybody just kind of follow, which is what you expect him to do.
Yeah, I think a lot of people see the 30 points at halftime, and that's one aspect of it. But what are you referencing maybe more about his approach and the way that he's able to kind of get the whole thing moving in some ways?
Yeah, I think it just speaks to who he is. He's an everyday guy, and he doesn't take no night off, no matter who's on the court or who we may be playing. Take the Milwaukee game, for example. They had a lot of guys out, and, like him sitting out wasn't even like a question. He just knows that obviously if you're healthy, you should be able to be out there on the floor. And not just when you're out there on the floor, play it with the force. And, he played that game just like he would do anybody else in another normal game. So I think, like I said, just does a good job of setting the tone as a team of who we want to be. And if your leader can do it, then everyone shouldn't have an issue following suit.
Mark Dignold, after the game, took time out to really praise you and your approach as well. He said, last few times that you've been out here for the Thunder, you've approached the game exactly how they would want you to. What has allowed you to be able to do that, and what do you think you're doing at a high level right now?
I think it's just helped me just trying to look internally versus what the outside world may want to see. I've done a lot of different things in my career up to this point, but, here I'm kind of starting from scratch. And I think the process has been focused on long-term development and what can help me be in the NBA for as long as I possibly can. So I've been just trying to do whatever they tell me to do. And, at the end of the day, that's just what's made it easier on me. And I think, what I'm doing really well is just working on, defensive fundamentals, system skills, learning how to play off of other better players. A situation that I haven't been in a lot in my career, so I'm just trying to learn those different things. And even though I might not get all the game opportunities I might want playing on a really good team, that's why you have an organization. You can use things like the Blue, the high-eye things. And I've just been trying to keep those things my focus, even though it might not be what everyone else wants to see. I'm just trying to look internally.
Yeah, that's that internal focus. I mean, those are the kind of things that have driven Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jaylin Williams and all these guys' success when the team wasn't winning as many games. So it's really remarkable to see you have that mindset so early in your career. We saw you pick out so many great passes in addition to the rebounding the other night against Milwaukee. We know that's been your skill set already, but how good did it feel to just have those all come within the flow of those system skills that you were talking about?
It felt good. I think, early on when I was getting a little bit of the rotation minutes, I was starting to figure out a little bit, and then, I go to the Blue and I kind of play a different role there a little bit. But, it's been good for the last, I think the last 3 games I played up here, I've kind of tried to rework those things that I've been taught, playing out the catch more. And once I kind of have attacked it with that focus, a lot of those things have been there. So the skill and ability is there to do the things that I've always done. It's just about like the action and how I'm doing them, and the way I'm doing them. So it's been good to try to get those reps and learn that, and everything else will carry on with it.
The last thing for you, you've got this Phoenix team coming into town. This is kind of a strange part of the year where it's kind of the dog days of the beginning of February. A lot of guys are out. We're still not sure whether Kevin Durant's going to play tonight. And so how have you noticed that this team handles this situation, and what are going to be some keys against Phoenix, kind of regardless of what the personnel ends up being?
I think, the keys for us is just being kind of who we are, looking in the mirror, and knowing that, we can't take a night off to not only get better as a team, but individually. We're getting healthier by the day, so it's good for that as a team camaraderie as a whole, because, it's a lot of guys happy about guys coming back. The energies in the gym is really high. So I think it's just all about that and just worrying about who we are and who we're going to be every day.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Good luck out there tonight, Dillon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Dillon Jones. I'm Nick Gallo, and this is Thunder Basketball. Like Milwaukee, there's some guys that may not be in tonight, but just big picture, what do you guys think?
Yeah, they're a good team. Everybody in this league can play basketball, so we got to go into this game. No matter who's playing, we got to play our brand of basketball and do the things that we want to do.
They made a fairly significant trade at the 5 spot. What do you see in terms of the guys that you might be matched up with tonight?
Yeah, they have two big guys at the 5, physical guys, big rebounders, good offensive guys, good offensive rebounders. So it's going to be a tough physical game.
Obviously, a guy like Booker can really get going in the mid-range. Just as a big man, as that 5 position, what do you do to just kind of like help limit him whenever he's coming off screen or stuff like that?
Yeah, I just try to communicate with the guards and help them, let them know when their screen's going to be there. We have great defenders on our team. We have so many great guys that love playing defense. So I just try to do everything I can to help them do what they do.
You had a couple of blocks the other night, and normally we see you taking charges. What was going on in those possessions and in those plays there?
Yeah, at halftime, I was kind of chirping back and forth with some of my teammates, and they said that I'm not a shot blocker. And it just kind of happened. It was a fun thing, and I was chirping at them on the bench, and it was just a fun thing, a fun energy play, I guess.
It's been a very active trade deadline, as you've seen. I just wanted to get your reaction on the Luka AD trade, first and foremost, and I guess what you've taken away from the deadline.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were all talking about it in our group chat as soon as it happened. And it's just mind-blowing that at the end of the day, it's a business, and you got to be ready for everything.
I guess that trade specifically, when you look at the West, how does that alter the playoff picture?
I have no idea yet because we have yet to see either one of the teams play with any other guys. But we kind of just focus on what we got going. We have the Suns tonight, and I'm kind of worried about that game.
Last thing unrelated to tonight's game, I think recent discussions, like Adam Silver came out and was asked about if there were any changes the league is monitoring, and he mentioned 10-minute quarters. As you think about that as a concept, how does that affect reserves, bench guys, maybe you specifically, or just the league in general?
Of course, there's going to be a lot less minutes for guys on the team to have, but I feel like that's something I don't need to worry about until it's something that comes across or it's going to happen. But I haven't really saw much of that because I'm off Twitter. I'm not trying to be on Twitter that much, but I'm just going to cross that path when it gets to it.
You're off Twitter since when?
Since the beginning of the season. I mean, I get on there here and there, but I tried to delete it before I started playing.
Is Casey going to start comparing your shot blocks to like Tyson Chandler and Hakeem and those guys?
He told me last game my blocks were like Bill Russell. That's what he told me. So I got Blake Griffin off the Pistons on my dunks and Bill Russell on my block. So I feel like I did pretty good with last game.
Between now and the All-Star break, you guys still have 2 back-to-backs. Does that kind of help you guys stay focused and not think about where you're going on vacation?
I feel like our team is very good at staying focused, worrying about the next game. Honestly, I didn't even know that we had 2 back-to-backs. That's how locked in I'm in for just the next game. But I feel like our guys do a pretty good job of just finishing the race. The past 2 years that I've been here, we kind of finished strong, and I feel like that's something that we're going to try to do.